Praise God.
Peace, Almighty.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Elijah Justice. I want to build on something very shortly, and I think it's pertinent to the nation, period. It has to do with history as I was taught. And not only as I was taught from what I've seen, because I want others to be aware of it, especially in this day and time. I got knowledge of self and knowledge born God cipher. And I actually got in the penal institution because I used to run in Mecca with a bunch of guards even before I got knowledge of self. But when I went away in 70, yes, I did a little state bid in 1970, and the guards that I used to be with was the ones who came to me, and they gave me, they were sending the alphabets, they were sending mathematics down to me, and it was from that point on that I picked up my degrees in 1970. I got violated in 71, and when I came home and God the end of God wisdom, I did 8 months. When I came home and God wisdom, I ran into what we call firstborn Muslims. Okay, at that time, a lot of brothers in this nation now may not be familiar with them, but a lot of these brothers came from a brother that, from what I was taught, that was taught by Allah in Matterhorn. Okay, he called himself the second coming of Allah, Robert Walker. Okay, so what he did is he gave birth to a different nation outside of our nation, and these brothers were calling themselves firstborn Muslim. We were the 5%, Allah's 5%. These guys had knowledge of self, and a lot of them came out the mosque, and a lot of them was taught by Robert Walker. What was it? They call him El Champagne. Oh, that was his 85% name. Okay. El Champagne.
El Champagne.
Right. However, at the time, when I came home, I came out my building, I had a university flag on. And a few of them were standing in front of my building. This was in Pedon, I moved to Pedon. And, because I had the flag on, they greeted me in peace. And I greeted them in peace. And they had names like Oliver, Allah the Son, Eternal. They had these are the names of the brothers. Oliver, what's the other god name? A couple of them still around. I don't want to mention those names, but I'm mentioning these names because these were the specific ones that I ran into. And it was always taught to me that when you run into them, all you had to do is stay grounded within 120 degrees, and you can actually build with them. Because a lot of times these brothers would take plus lessons, or lessons that was written by Great God or Armando. He would take these lessons and other lessons that he wrote himself, and they would elaborate on it, but they wouldn't, if you asked them to bring it back to the foundation, they couldn't do it. A lot of them would actually ask questions like, how fast does an ant heart beat? Stuff like that. Yeah. That wasn't grounded in 120, and I always taught us, stay within your 120. Master the earthly things before you try to give up to the heavenly things. So there were times that we used to go to battle with these dudes. We used to physically fight them. A Lord Eternal was one that we chased across Katona Park a couple of times, but what I'm trying to show, eventually, brothers like him, Oliver, Lord Eternal, these brothers eventually started coming amongst the true and living and incorporating themselves in our nation, okay? And I had to go back into the annals of history to look at that, because I'm saying what we're seeing today when we talk about Muslim gods, okay? We're seeing the rise of the same concepts. Again, here you got brothers that want to relate to being the true and living, the Lord's 5%, that's not really of the Lord's 5%. And what happens now in our nation, when we're amongst gods and we build and we hear this foreign knowledge, if you're not rooted in your knowledge, you can get caught up in what another brought from another nation into our nation. And what has done, a lot of brothers that come from said nations have brought this information, and now it's all incorporated within our nation. And now we gotta, as 5% that's rooted in the tree of knowledge and our foundation, we have to go back and build with God and dispel all the nonsense that these brothers have brought into our nation. Okay, some of them still in our nation. They brought what they brought with them, but they have mastered our language so well that when we see them and we build with them, if you didn't know them, you wouldn't know exactly who I'm talking about. But that's still going on in our nation. But I brought that up because we got, brothers that's calling themselves Muslim gods in this day and time. In that day and time, I remember a brother, same name he got, Allah Shah, who I used to be around all the time. And Allah Shah used to tell me the stories that when Champagne or Robert Walker used to come along, he used to call him Where's the Body also. When he used to come back, because he used to say he was Allah in the second, and Where's the Body. All right, so the brother used to tell me he wanted to go do something to him. But Allah even told them, don't do nothing to him. Because in time, we're going to show and prove that's going to go away anyway. And eventually that did happen. So it's the same thing with these brothers that come up amongst us that want to come in our classes, the Moors that want to be Muslim now, or Muslim guards that want to come around and tell us what the foundation is. As long as you, and I go back to what Allah said, as long as you stay grounded within your 120 and you teach from your 120, then you can dispel all those myths that these brothers are coming in our nation with. You just got to remain grounded in your foundation and keep teaching from your foundation. So I needed to say that because we already lived that history in the 70s. In the 80s, you got other brothers. You had the Bays and the L's that was coming amongst us that we witnessed also back then. They came amongst us, wanting to be adding Bay on their name. You will see a lot of brothers in our nation still got Bay on their name. I question that. I question the L, but he gotta walk his own now. He gotta swim his own 9,000 miles. So, but I wanted to bring that to the nation's attention because it's about our nation. So you gotta be grounded in your foundation. And all those brothers, like we had a brother named Great God that was upstate, but he had brothers in the 70s in jail burning themselves with cigarettes, burning their hands because he wanted them to be his followers. All right, Prince Allah, he changed his name to Prince. Then he went on to change his name to Cypherlaw. He was up north, Cypherlaw. So he went backwards, basically, and he became a Muslim. Okay, but these are individuals that wrote their own lessons, and a lot of us was taking these lessons, and with 120 we were, we said, oh, that sound good. So we start incorporating it into our lessons until later on in life, when you get a basic understanding of what this nation is about, a lot of that wasn't right as that, because now you don't went from knowledge of born back to knowledge again. And you can see that. But you still have that amongst us. And I say that because a lot of these Muslim brothers that want to be God in our nation, that come from a said nation and want to bring their trash or their garbage into our nation. And I say that to our nation members, stay strong and stay steadfast in your 120. And the rest of that, is secondary. You don't really need that. And these other individuals that's coming around, with these set names and set nation, just continue to build with the law of mathematics and keep this nation strong. And a lot of you younger brothers that's getting it, the foundation, even though a lot of y'all disagree with what might be going on here, come and see for yourself. Don't take things on face value. Come and build with the builders, because we building here at a law school in Mecca. There are classes. If you choose to do a class, come around, we'll let you do a class. It's not about nobody can't do it. Just come with your foundation set and we can build, but keep that in mind. This nation is the greatest nation that ever came to the shores of North America. That's why I said, who is the 5%? on this poor part of the planet Earth, that would be us. That's a large nation. So with these other nations that's come around, just stay strong, and Allah lives eternally. Peace.
If Mecca did this.